comparing comics and manga. Around the world, people enjoy reading stories that combine text and pictures. Traditionally, in the US, these are comics, and in Japan, they're manga. Let's take a look at the similarities and differences between these two art forms. Comics usually use squares or rectangles with pictures inside them to show the story's development. Speech bubbles are used so the reader can easily tell who is talking. Comics are usually in vivid color. Large comic companies such as Marvel or DC have teams of many artists and writers. They work together in order to create each issue of a comic, which are sold as individual magazines. However, smaller and independent comic companies might have a single person creating the whole comic. They create the story, draw the characters, and make all the pictures. Although there are comic books about all types of subjects, the most common is superheroes. One of the earliest was Superman in Action Comics #1 in 1938. Superhero stories are dramatic, full of action, and often have a clear distinction between good and evil.
Hi everyone, welcome to the show. I'm Tiffany.
And I'm Laura.
And oh my gosh, I was watching this really good manga the other day.
Oh my gosh.
I love it. Do you like watching manga, by the way?
Of course.
Oh my god, do you have any favorites?
When I was a kid, yeah, but maybe I don't have a lot of time.
Right?
Yeah,
okay, but do you
to read them now.
Do you watch comics then?
Ooh, yeah, sometimes. But now I'm getting busier.
I know. We don't really have time for that, so we just only watch TV shows.
Yes.
But we do have a very fun topic today. It's comparing comics and manga.
哦，你们大家知道吗 ？Comics 美漫或者是 manga 日漫的差异 ，Do you guys know? We're gonna find out.
I'm just kidding.
No,
It's
same,
so
same.
different, right? Okay. The article says, around the world, people enjoy reading stories that combine text and pictures. When we talk about text, it's a noun and it means the main printed part of a book or a magazine, and it's not the notes or pictures, so only the text, the typing part. It's any form of written material like on a computer, it could be printed text in a book, or even on the phones when we send messages to our friends. We can use text in a sentence like this. Sharon put all of her pictures together in a scrapbook and wrote some text underneath each picture.
Sounds like what you would do.
I know, that's what I do all the time.
Okay, text 是什么呢？其实它就是有文字的意思哦，它是个名词。而 textbook， 大家是不是觉得很熟悉？对啊，就是你的课本啊、教科书啊。So for example, the textbook is filled with text and diagrams, making it easier to understand complex concepts. Or text can also mean what Tiffany just said, 简讯. For example, I received a sweet text from my friend wishing me good luck on my exam. OK, 所以课文是说全球各地的人们都喜欢阅读结合文字和图片的故事啦。
And it's easy to read, right? Here in the article it says, traditionally in the US, these are comics. And in Japan, they're manga. Manga is what we know as comic books in Japan.
Right, manga 就是日本的漫画，是不可数名词哦。那在美国，他们就叫做 comics 漫画，所以日漫、美漫不要傻傻分不清楚。
The article then says, let's take a look at the similarities and differences between these two art forms. Okay, here we see the word similarity. It's a noun and it means the state of being similar to somebody or something, but not exactly the same. For example, Mozart and Beethoven.
贝多芬
Yeah, I almost said the Chinese.
Right?
Mozart and Beethoven, they're both classical composers, but their style of music sounds quite different. So they're kind of similar. We can also use it in a sentence like this. Jess didn't realize her expensive bag was fake. The similarities between the real and fake ones were unbelievable. Oh no.
我们都知道 similar 对不对？这是形容词 ，similarity 则是它的名词，就是相似处、类似的地方。For example, there's a striking similarity between their artwork. They must have been inspired by the same style. OK， 那这里看到 form 这个名词是种类，所以 art form 指的是艺术种类，像是绘画啦，或是音乐等等。OK， 所以我们来看一看 manga 跟 comics 这两个到底有什么相似或不同的地方。
Okay, here it says comics usually use squares or rectangles with pictures inside them to show the story's development. Okay, what is a rectangle? It's a noun and it's a flat shape with 4 straight sides, but 2 are longer than the other 2, and if you're really good at math, the 4 angles are all 90 degrees.
你好
Okay?
讨厌哦，我数学很差。
I Googled this.
Okay.
But here we can use it in a sentence like this. The artist drew a perfect rectangle with his eyes closed. He then made a cool painting with only rectangles. Ooh.
Rectangle 是什么呢？就是长方形啦。这个如果数学很好就知道，它是一个名词。For example, the new building is shaped like a giant rectangle, towering over the city skyline. 好酷哦！
I know. Let's go take a look. Development here is a noun and it means the act, process, or result of developing. When you develop something, it means you let it grow to make it become stronger or better. So here, when they're talking about developing a story, it means building the story and how to make it even better or more interesting to read. We can also use development to talk about maybe growth in a person, or maybe growth in a person's skills, or maybe even the economy. Here we can use it in a sentence like this. The development of the new project happened as each of us suggested one idea.
Development 这个名词就是发展啦。For example, the city's rapid development is evident in its new skyscrapers and improved infrastructure. 哇，我知道这个美漫它通常是使用里面呢是的图片是正方形啊，或是长方形来展示出故事里面的发展，它在说什么
Yeah, that's right. Next, the article says speech bubbles are used so the reader can easily tell who's talking. Comics are usually in vivid color. So speech bubbles are the little circle bubbles that come out of the character's mouth. Now they say that comics are usually very vivid, or they have vivid color. Vivid here is an adjective and it means that it's very, very, very bright, like your beautiful
Oh my
shirt.
gosh.
Yes. And so think of something super colorful like a parrot as well. Like the parrot has very vivid feathers on its body. We can also say Claire loves to dress in vivid colors because she likes to make a statement.
Oh, I like you, Claire.
Yeah.
OK， 所以我们提到了 speech bubble 就是对话框，很像泡泡那种感觉，对不对？那连接词 so 是 so that 的省略写法，有为了或是以便于表达目的这样的意思哦。Vivid 是我个人很爱的，就是颜色很鲜艳的、很明亮的，它是一个形容词。For example, the sunset painted the sky with vivid shades of orange and pink.
Ooh,
My
gorgeous.
favorite.
Yeah.
所以美漫我们通常会有对话框，所以我们就会知道说，哦，谁在说话。那通常呢，他们的颜色都非常的鲜艳，很亮。Love it.
Yeah, here it says large comic companies such as Marvel or DC have teams of many artists and writers. Ooh, okay.
OK, Marvel 当然就是漫威了。哇吼，它里面是不是有很多 superhero 超级英雄，像是大家知道的 Spider-Man、Iron Man？那 DC 呢，就是当然也有非常多的 superheroes， 像是 Superman 就是 DC 的超人，还有 Batman 蝙蝠侠。
I love Batman.
Oh my gosh, he's so hot.
Yes.
OK, 所以原来这个 Marvel 啊，或是 DC， 他们这个大型的漫画公司都有许多的艺术家和写手所组成的团队哦。
Okay, quick question though. Are you Team Marvel or
你好
Team DC?
烦哦 I'm gonna go for Team Marvel. I'm sorry, but I bet you are Team DC because you just said you like Batman.
Yeah, Batman. But I do have to say,
Robin
Marvel
也很帅啊。
movies, they are.
Yeah.
Marvel movies are actually a lot more fun, but I love the DC comics I don't know. They're both really good. It's so hard to decide.
I hate to choose just one.
I know. Anyways, let's continue reading. The article says they work together in order to create each issue of a comic, which are sold as individual magazines. Now, issue is used for publishing, and it's one of a regular series of magazines or newspapers or comic books. So, like for example, Vogue magazine or even For You magazine puts out an issue once a month. Here, of course, issue can be used to talk about like a problem or a topic of discussion like environmental issues, or maybe if you're not getting along with a friend, you might be having an issue with that friend. So there's different ways to use it.
Right, but here 在我们本课的 issue 它是一个名词，就是报刊的期或是号。OK， 不过这里要停一下，因为我们看到今天的 language in focus。Let's take a look. 今天的 language in focus 要看到的呢是 in order to 的用法哦。in order to 后面接原形动词，就是为了什么什么。那 in order 这个部分其实可以省略哦，那可以放在句首或是句中。像是课我们不是有提到 they work together in order to create each issue of a comic, which are sold as individual magazines. 指的就是为了制作每一集的漫画，这些艺术家和写手团队会一起共同创作，而这些漫画呢会以单本杂志的形式出售哦。那么再举其他比较生活化的例子，用 in order to. For example, I exercise regularly in order to stay healthy. 或者我可以放在句首 In order to stay healthy, I exercise regularly. 为了保持健康，我规律的运动。那再来就是，如果想要表达否定哦，我们可以使用 in order not to 后面接原形动词，就是为了不要如何如何，以免如何如何。那注意哦，这里的 in order 就不可省略哦。举例来说 ，She whispered in order not to disturb the others. 为了不要打扰其他人啊，她低声很小声的说话。Or he covered his mouth in order not to sneeze loudly. 很棒，为了不要大声打喷嚏，他捂住了嘴巴，这样也比较卫生哦。
Okay, let's continue reading. It says, however, smaller and independent comic companies might have a single person creating the whole comic.
No way! 所以比较小的公司或是独立的漫画公司，可能只有一个人创作整个漫画。
Wow, they're so busy.
I know.
Okay, what they do is they create the story, draw the characters, and make all the pictures.
No
oh my gosh,
way!
so busy.
所以他们要做好多事，他们要发想故事啦，然后绘制角色，并且制作所有的图像。
Wow, props to them. Here it says, although there are comic books about all types of subjects, the most common is superheroes.
For sure, OK. Subject 这个名词在这里指的就是艺术作品的主题啦，或是主角。所以虽然有关于各种题材的漫画书，但是最常见应该是 superheroes 吧，超级英雄。
Yeah. Next in the article says one of the earliest was Superman in Action Comics #1 in Oh my gosh, look at the year. 1938. Wow.
这是阿公阿嬷的时候嘛，所以最早期的超级英雄的美漫之一就是在1938年的 Action Comics #1 的 Superman 超人。
Here it says superhero stories are dramatic, full of action, and often have a clear distinction between good and evil. Here we see the word dramatic. It's an adjective and it means suitable to or characteristic of drama. So as in being very exciting or moving, in order to create a special effect and attract people's attention. Okay, so if you're dramatic, it kind of means you're just exaggerating something. Some people can be very dramatic. For example, maybe you accidentally stepped on someone's foot and all of a sudden the person is rolling on the floor or like crying, and you can tell that they're doing it for extra attention. We can call that dramatic. So if someone's acting like that, you can say, don't be so dramatic. Or you can also call them a drama queen or drama king. For example, we can use dramatic in a sentence like this. Tom Cruise made a dramatic entrance to the movie premiere. He landed on a helicopter on the rooftop and then parachuted off the building.
有时候我真的是很 drama 耶。OK，dramatic 就是比较正确的说法，这个形容词就是很精彩的、激动人心的，或者是很有戏剧性的。For example, the movie had a dramatic ending that left everyone in tears.
Oh my gosh. What movie is that? All right, but we also see the phrase here to be full of something. It just means to be filled with lots of something else. Like, for example, Rick didn't check his paper, so it's full of mistakes. Okay, so don't do that. We also saw the word distinction. It's a noun and it means to have a difference in something. So, for example, in comic books, there's, especially in superhero comics, superhero stories, you can tell who is the good guy or bad guy. There's a clear distinction of that.
Full of something 就是充满什么什么。For example,Her eyes were full of tears when she heard the touching story. 那刚才看到 distinction 就是差别不同，它是一个名词。那我们常常会用 distinction between A and B， 就是来说 A 跟 B 的差别或是不同在哪里。注意哦，在刚刚的句子当中，名词 action 指的是令人激动的事或是大事。所以回到课文，整句是说，哇，超级英雄的故事，哇，是充满戏剧性啦，而且通常有明确的善恶区分，就是有好人跟坏人 ，good and bad，yeah， OK， 所以喜欢今天的主题吗？记得不要忘了按赞、订阅、分享我们的 YouTube 频道和 Facebook 哦。
Yay! All right, so we did learn some things about comics and mangas, but we didn't really get to learn too much about mangas, right?
Not yet.
But that's going to be in day 2. But before we end today's article, we do have a for you chat question. And it is, which do you like better? Color comics or black and white comics? Why?
I have to go for I like black and white comics more because I grew up reading Doraemon and Crayon Shin-chan. So they're full of nostalgic memories for me. I think there's something special about the simplicity and charm of black and white illustrations that lets my imagination fill in the details. Plus, the stories and characters in these comics were a big part of my childhood, making them extra meaningful to me. Oh my gosh.
I mean, I really love the vividness of the comics in American comics because, because I think I really like art, so I view those kind of comics as art. So I love looking at the way they drew,
and the use of colors too.
The way they drew Wonder Woman or like even Captain America. Those were always, super, super fun for me. So I loved reading those too. I also love reading the black and white ones too.
I was going to say, they're both so good. Why do you have to always make me pick one?
I know.
Can we just read both?
I think we could just like both, right? Okay. You don't always have to make a choice.
That's true.
But anyways, that does bring us to the end of today's article. We do have more to talk about. Like we didn't get to touch on manga, right?
Manga.
One of my favorites. I know. So don't forget to stay tuned and we'll see you soon.
Bye.
Vocabulary Review. Text. Larry got coffee on his newspaper, and now some of the text is hard to read. Similarity. I can easily tell that Brian is your brother because you two share many similarities. Rectangle. Jeff drew around the edge of the A4 paper to make a rectangle on the board. Development. In history class, the students learned about the development of art in ancient Greece. Vivid. The sky turned a vivid orange as the sun began to set behind the clouds. Dramatic. This movie is so dramatic. I have never seen one as exciting as this.
智慧小补帖
Manga. Manga. Issue. Distinction.